name's Prem Raja and welcome to the Currency Blog TV. Last week was another eventful week on the markets. As mentioned in the last video, there was a heap of UK data to be released, including retail sales and inflation figures. Majority of this data actually came out more positive than expected, so we saw the pound strengthen across the board. We saw the pound euro back up at 116 and the pound dollar back up to 132. This was unfortunately short-lived, as on Friday, similar to last week, we saw a massive pound sell-off in the afternoon. Now this was for two reasons. The first reason was that British Prime Minister Theresa May has confirmed that she will trigger Article 50 by April of 2017. The second reason is that speculators on the markets are not keen on leaving positions in the pound over the weekend, so we're finding every Friday afternoon they're selling off their positions, which is causing the pound to tumble. Moving on to this week now, there isn't much data of importance to be released through the end of August. However, there is a couple of pieces of data that we find could move the market in a big way. The first piece of data of note will be coming out of Europe on Tuesday morning, which will be manufacturing and business confidence out of Europe. The Eurozone seems to have attracted a lot of the investment that the UK has lost over the last year, so we are expecting to see a strong number on Tuesday morning. The Eurozone seems to have attracted a lot of the investment that the UK has lost over the last year, and it's for this reason that we're expecting to see a strong number on Tuesday morning. On Wednesday at 3 PM, we're expecting to see new home sales data out of the US, and there is expected to see a contraction in this piece of data. So for those of you who are selling the pound and buying the dollar, Wednesday afternoon is expected to be a good time for you. Friday of this week will probably be the most important day that we'll see, for a couple of reasons. First of all, we're expecting to see GDP figures out of the UK and the US. Now, our last GDP estimate out of the UK was revised down, so we're not expecting to see a great figure, and even if this does happen, we're not expecting to see much market movement. However, if we see a slightly better or worse figure than expected, then I will expect to see some movement on the pound, and this is similar for the US GDP as well. Now, you must bear in mind that as we've seen over the last couple of weeks, we are seeing sell-offs on the pound every Friday afternoon. So if you have got transactions to make on Friday, it is probably worth avoiding Friday afternoon, as we are expecting to see a sell-off on the pound in the afternoon. Later on Friday afternoon at 3 PM, Fed Chair Janet Yellen is expected to speak. For those of you who may or may not know, when the Fed do speak, it is always of importance to the markets. What the markets will be waiting to hear is if the US are expecting to put up their interest rates at any point throughout 2016. As you all know, the elections in the US will begin soon, so we are expecting to see quite a bit of volatility in the US markets. Central banks are data driven, so any monetary policy is always expected after we see good figures out of a particular country. And as the US data recently has neither been too strong or too weak, we're not expecting any imminent action from the Fed. Many of you may have noticed recently that the pound is severely undervalued, especially against the euro and the dollar. We're currently trading at 115 against the euro and at 130 against the dollar. Many major banks have now started to release their forecasts, the most popular being 119 on the euro by the end of 2016 and back up to 127 by the end of 2017. Now, these predictions must be taken with a large pinch of salt, as they don't account for any shock announcements that may happen, further interest rate cuts, and when Article 50 will actually be triggered. So for those of you with a requirement over the next couple of months with selling the pound or even purchasing the pound, please don't hesitate to contact me for a consultation, as I'll be happy to walk you through what the markets would be doing at the time. I'm Prem Raja, this is the Currency Blog TV. Thank you.